I'm going to use this flyer to illustrate to you layer adjustment. So basically this is a flyer I've designed, and then this is the layer panel, and then this is the layer itself, the flyer layer. So should I hide it? You see it's gone. Great. So this one, if you want to create an adjustment layer, what you do is that you come to the bottom of the layer panel and you come to this particular icon. Once you hover on it, you even see it will instruct you to that you are creating a new fill or adjustment layer. So you press it and then it will give you all the options you need. So I'll start with selective color, the first one, just to demonstrate to you. So once I select it, can you see the options, the properties of the selective color has come, and this is the layer it has created. So this one is called a layer adjustment, and specifically selective color. And to tweak or to edit this one in any way, you use the controls here. This is the properties panel of this selective color layer adjustment that I've created. All right, so here you have the cyan, magenta, yellow, and then black. You can tweak them. Selective color, simply select a particular color and then play with it, modify it. So let's just play with some of them. Cyan, let's take a look. All right, I'm not really seeing any effect, honestly. So let's go to magenta. Great. Magenta has a bit of effect over there. So the reason why we're not seeing cyan over there is because we probably don't have a color here that is cyan. That is why you don't see anything at all. But something like yellow, I've not touched it, but clearly I have yellow color inside it, so I know it's going to take effect. So let's take a look. Okay, so when you bring it here, it becomes more yellow. I'm not seeing anything yet, but let's reduce it, and then you see what just happened. So it becomes less yellow and then more yellow. All right, so the other one is black. As you can see, there's black, so you bring it here, it becomes less black and then more black. So these are just controls for you to play with. And remember, we created an adjustment layer. So the other controls, you can, for an example, create a contrast to blackness, and then there too you have the brightness, and then the contrast to play with. The same thing applies to there are so many of them. You can't just choose any of them. So for an example, let's go to levels. It will open that for you. So let me take a bit of time to explain this for those who do not really understand. So when you check this control, there are three controls down there. This one is dark, and this is light. And the chart over there tells you that if these whole bars are your design, you see that we have a lot of bars at the darker side. So that means that a greater portion of your design is in the darker side. So that is why you find this, and then some portion too is in the lighter side, but in comparison, greater percentage of your design is in the darker side. So that's why they've spread across them that way. So for and this is the intermediate between the dark and the light. So if I should tweak these, you realize that it's becoming really darker, because now we will have all of this place coming down, becoming dark. And if I should bring even the darker one over there and really making our design dark, I hope you can see what is taking effect there. So basically this is how you play with the levels controls. And there are so many other ones. Let me maybe end with curves. So this is curves for you. And curves, when you can basically you can put anchors in there or on the line, and then you tweak them. This, as you can see, this one, this side is light and then that side is dark. So once you bring it there, it becomes more darker. When you send it up, it becomes lighter and lighter, brighter and brighter. So basically that's how that also works. But the whole objective of this whole video is for you to understand adjustment layers. All of these, hue, saturation, vibrance, you can create them, and then you can adjust your design. Now there is another way to achieve this effect. For an example, if you go to layers, you can find it. If this was to be an image, if this was to be an image, let me convert it to smart object. All right, so now it's an image, and then we can simply go to image, go to adjustment, and then we have the colors, I mean the brightness to contrast levels and all of those controls there. But the whole idea is that if you go here, that one doesn't give you the flexibility for you to, it distracts the design, it attaches to the design, unlike when you come to the adjustment layers and create individual layers. If you just don't need them, you just close it, you just hide it, or maybe you delete it completely and you have your original design back. And one last thing I need to mention over here is, let me convert this back to how it was the original layers. All right, so this is the flyer. I've actually grouped the individual layers in this flyer. So let me delete all of these adjustment layers I created, and I'm going to drop down this arrow. So listen, this is the don't miss church service, that's it over there, socials, header, time, and all of that. So the beautiful thing about adjustment layer also is that you can clip an adjustment layer to a particular layer. So for an example, if this is the preacher, so I'm going to create an adjustment layer just right on top of the preacher, and then maybe contrast to brightness. So you see that there's it, the controls have come. I'm going to make it brighter. Have you realized that it's taking effect on the whole image? Look at that. It's actually the whole image, not just the preacher, the man over there. But there's a way to clip it to just the preacher. You just, once that layer has been selected, you press Alt, and then you hover over where it is intersecting with the beneath layer, and then you click. So you see it has been clipped to the preacher layer, and so when you tweak, it's only going to affect the preacher. So you see, this one gives you a lot more flexibility to work with when working in Photoshop. God bless you.